Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our Family Friday webinar series. My name is Karina Aguilera Dickens, and I am the Assistant Director for Parent and Family Programs in Campus Life. Today, in a special pre-recorded edition of our series, we have invited the Sorority and Fraternity Life team to share everything you need to know about the sorority and fraternity communities here at Emory, as well as resources and programming provided by their office. As always, all of our webinar and program information is always available at family.emory.edu. The webinars page also includes a link to the YouTube playlist of previous webinar recordings. You are always welcome to view webinars from this past semester or this past year. Recordings for the fall webinar schedule will be available after the webinar's conclusion. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Sorority and Fraternity Life team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Jackson, Director of Sorority and Fraternity Life here at Emory. Thank you all for being with us today. Over the next hour, myself and the team will talk about the vibrancy in our community, what we do, the why behind it, and how we work with all of our students. As you can see from this slide, we have a number of community members here that are leading our sorority and fraternity life community. The unique thing about our community is that most of us are affiliated with social fraternities and sororities. And so we bring our own experience and we understand the fraternal experience, but we're also well qualified to lead the organizations. We come from a variety of schools, whether that's private schools, state schools, and also some of our large public schools. And I think that makes us a diverse group of team members who offer our different perspectives to what it means to have a vibrant sorority and fraternity life community. Here are a few of our team members, and you will get to hear from a number of them and learn about how they work with each of our organizations and councils to make sure they're enhancing the overall student experience here at Emory. So here's our why. I think before we get into that, it's important to know that Greek life at Emory University has been here for over 150 years. And over that time, the university has supported the efforts of the community by financial support, but also through how we're staffed. And our overall focus as an office is to make sure that we develop, support, and empower students to be responsible and engaged community members. We operate with the idea that our students are not just being, they're doing. And as an office, we're also doing that. And so we operate under this educational framework. It's on the next slide. And it's very important to us. And what you'll see as we dive into the educational framework is that a lot of the things that we value, our organizations also value, and they have that as a core foundational piece for their chapters and how they view their chapters. So let's get into the how. It's important to know that the foundation of sororities and fraternities and kind of what makes them different from other organizations is this emphasis on brotherhood and sisterhood. There's this great sense of belonging. The ideal is that if brotherhood and sisterhood and the fraternal experience is done right, not only will students feel the sense of connection to the chapter, but they will also feel the sense of connection to the overall university. And so we pride ourselves on having that as a core foundation to all of our chapters that make up the community. We also pride ourselves on developing leaders. We like to say as a team, we're developers, and we want to make sure that students leave here a little bit different than what they came. And sometimes that's easy to do because ultimately our students are running small businesses and organizations. That's how we view our chapters. So you're going to have a CEO, you're going to have someone who handles the finances, you're going to have someone who talks about just the curriculum and those type of things. And if students are really focused in on that, that can develop them and help them be leaders in other organizations, but also in life after college. There's also a great emphasis on civic engagement. All of our fraternities and sororities have a philanthropy that's at the center of their organization. It goes back to the not just being, but doing. there's a great emphasis on serving the overall community. And so that can look like different things, but ultimately what they're doing is giving their time and money to foundations, sometimes across the Atlanta area, but also nationally. And we do that as an office as well. Just recently, we brought together a large number of community members from all different chapters and councils. And as a collective, they made nearly 1,000 sandwiches for the Atlanta community and people in need. We also believe that academic excellence, this experience should not pull you away from those academic efforts that students hold dear to their heart here at Emory, and I'm sure at other universities, but it should enhance that. And we do programming that kind of adds value to that, but our organizations also do that by having peer mentors within their organizations, study groups and study hours, and also GPAs that students have to hit. And I think that's why we constantly kind of trend ahead of the non-affiliated student in terms of how high our overall community GPA is. So what does that look like from our office? Here are some of the programs and initiatives that we work hard and daily to come up with to make sure that students are having that experience that really adds value to their overall experience at Emory. We have a standard of eminence program. We really call this the blueprint of our office. This really means that as an organization and as a chapter, we say that you're doing well if you have this number of educational programs, you turned in, you met your compliance efforts, you're not at student conduct, you're also serving the community and kind of living up to those standards that you should be holding as a chapter and nationally as well. We also have our President's Retreat. We don't assume that our students come in fully prepared. We know that a lot of them do because we're getting students from across other organizations who have played an active role in that, but we still want to equip them with what they need to make sure that they're ready to lead the community that they're serving. And so we do this by our President's Retreat, where we take students off to a campsite, and we're doing teamwork, we're doing self-discovery through just learning about who they are, how they can work together with other team members to like lead those efforts. And we also expose our students to leadership conferences. During this time, they get to meet students from across the nation, from different universities, sometimes that belong to the same organizations as them, and that further enhances how they work together to lead the community that they serve. They can learn those like lifelong skills about communicating, handling difficult situations, and really more emphasis on running the business that they are leading in terms of like their chapters. We have our Eminence Awards. Our students, a number of our organizations do a lot of great work, right? They go above what we're asking them to do in terms of educational programming. They go above what we're asking them to do in terms of like serving the community. And we want to recognize them for that. So at the end of each year, we bring them all together. We have a nice dinner, a nice theme, and we give them very nice trophies to just congratulate them on the work that they're doing. We have our Leadership Academy because we believe that everyone is a leader and everyone can be a leader. And whether you're in a leadership spot or not, it does not make you a leader. But we have carefully curated a curriculum that pulls those students in and educates them on what it means to be an ethical leader. That's a 4 to 5 week program. And at the end of that program, they hear from some of our campus partners who are in leadership roles, but are also members of the Sorority and Fraternity Life community. And they talk about how they've translated their experience as sorority and fraternity life members into the leadership roles that they hold professionally. It's a great way to see that what we do and what our students are doing really matters. And it doesn't just matter here, but it's going to matter later in life when they're in those professional settings. And then we have our new member experience. It's a way to welcome all of our students to the Emory community. We want to build community, create that sense of belonging right away, but we also want to educate them on those things that are important to us, like student safety, and also what it means to be an ethical community leader. This is a time where we're bringing them together to do service projects as well, because we believe that that is the center and a very important component of what we do as sorority and fraternity life members. And here's some other ways that our students can get involved once they're part of community. We want to recognize them for their academic excellence. So we have an organization called Order of Omega, where we're just recognizing the top tier of our community and inducting them into this Order of Omega program where they can do academic initiatives and also service communities. We have Safe Greeks, where we believe that high-risk behavior should not be tolerated on our campus, but students should be in an area where they're having conversations about it. So Safe Greek allows those students to come together to do just that. We have Pride Alliance. One of the beautiful things about the Emory community is that we have a diverse group of students. That's diversity in terms of like culture, that's diversity in terms of identity. And Pride Alliance is another way where we bring students together that either share an identity or that are supporters of those people that share identities, just to make sure that they're uplifting that community and that they're doing programming centered around that. And then we have Greeks Go Green. As a university, we have put emphasis on making sure that, we're adding value to the overall community by keeping it clean and safe. And Greeks Go Green is a way to do that. And so they talk a lot about those recycling efforts in a way to keep our community beautiful. And before team members come in and talk, I want to talk a little bit about how this fits into the overall Emory community. So as a department, we're part of Emory Campus Life, then it's OSFL. And as a community, each of our chapters belong to councils. And so we have 4 councils that make up that community, and we have 30 chapters here at Emory. And so it gives your student the avenue to get involved in wherever they feel connected. And our team members are going to talk a little bit about what that looks like for each council. And here are our different councils. We have the Emory Pan-Hellenic Council, the Multicultural Greek Council, the National Pan-Hellenic Council, and the Interfraternity Council. And now the team members will take it from here to talk about those councils.
Hi, everyone. I am Essence Underwood. I serve as a coordinator within the Office of Sorority and Fraternity Life, and I also serve as an advisor for the Emory Pan-Hellenic Council and the Multicultural Greek Council. I'm going to start off today by talking a little bit about the Emory Pan-Hellenic Council. Here at Emory, we have 8 chapters that fall under the Emory Pan-Hellenic Council. We have Alpha Delta Pi, Gamma Phi Beta, Delta Delta Delta, Delta Phi Epsilon, Kappa Alpha Theta, Kappa Kappa Gamma, Pi Beta Phi, and Sigma Delta Tau. And so the Emory Panhellenic Council pretty much is the governing body of the university's National Panhellenic Conference sororities. We oversee all operations and activities for these 8 sororities, as well as overseeing recruitment, different scholarship initiatives, and community service activities for our women on campus. Not only does the Emory Panhellenic Council oversee these very specific purposes and things, but we also work together to make sure that there is collaboration not only amongst our community, but across different councils. Next slide, please. Just to talk a little bit about the recruitment process for the Emory Pan-Hellenic Council, our council participates in what we call formal recruitment, which is a structured process in which our undergraduate women are able to join one of the National Pan-Hellenic Conference sororities on our campus. In order to go through the recruitment process, it looks a little bit different from other organizations that you'll hear about later on today, but pretty much we have different rounds. We have 4 rounds. So starting off with values, going into philanthropy, sisterhood, and then preference, all leading up to bid day. We make sure that our students understand that the Emory Pan-Hellenic Council recruitment process is based on mutual selection. And what that means is that both parties are able to rank each other. And so we're making sure that not only do you align with the chapter, but that the chapter aligns with you. And it really gives our students the autonomy to make decisions based on their personal values, their mutual interests, and compatibility with each other. We are currently accepting students for formal recruitment. And so you are able to register for formal recruitment right now, all the way up until January 1st. Formal recruitment is going to be between January 8th and the 12th. And so we encourage you to apply for that. You can use this QR code if you would like to learn more about recruitment. There is a cost of $90, and that registration price We'll get you your crew neck for the year, as well as access into all of the amazing events that we'll be having during recruitment this spring. Alrighty, and so on to my next council, which is the Multicultural Greek Council. Here at Emory, we have 6 chapters. We have 3 sororities and 3 fraternities. We have Delta Phi Lambda Sorority Incorporated, Lambda Sigma Upsilon Fraternity Incorporated, Lambda Theta Alpha Latino Sorority Incorporated, Sigma Beta Rho Fraternity Incorporated, Theta Nu Xi Sorority Incorporated, and then Xi Kappa Fraternity Incorporated. And so the Multicultural Greek Council oversees these 6 fraternities and sororities. These organizations are going to be our culturally based or historically significant to cultural or ethnic communities, excuse me. And so while they may have this overarching umbrella, all students are welcome to join these organizations, no matter what culture or ethnicity. The MGC pretty much provides support, advocacy, and leadership to these organizations, and it really helps to foster a diverse community amongst our students. And so the council has the mission of promoting cultural awareness, community service, and the development of leadership amongst its members. And so with the MGC, chapters will host different events that provide opportunities for students to engage with their cultural identities. Not all of the events are focused around cultural identities, but it is a way for our students to learn more and to engage with each other, and just promote understanding and respect around different cultural groups. Alrighty, so with the Multicultural Greek Council, they do have a membership intake process. And so membership intake is the process in which different sororities and fraternities, particularly our culturally based organizations, are able to recruit and initiate new members. This looks different across each chapter. And so some organizations may only host intake once a year. That may be in the fall or spring. Some will host intake both semesters. And the membership intake process typically begins with an informational session that is hosted by the chapter, where students can learn a little bit more about the organization and kind of learn more about the history, the values, the mission, and expectations of them if allotted membership into the organization. And so interested individuals may be asked to complete an application, which includes some personal information, their academic records, and then an explanation of their interest in the organization. And so chapters are able to review these applications, and then they are able to select the candidates who align with their values and requirements to come in and join the organization. We currently have an interest form here. You can use this QR code to ask a little bit more about these organizations, and I can provide you with information at a later date. But I encourage each of you to attend MGC Recruitment Week, which is going to be January 20th to the 25th, where you can learn a little bit more about our organizations and meet some of our student leaders.
And hello, everyone. My name is Patrick James Wright III, and I get the opportunity to support both our National Pan-Hellenic Council and our IFC, our Interfraternity Council. Starting with our National Pan-Hellenic Council, often known as the Divine Nine or MPHC, we have on campus 8 of the 9 organizations chartered and 4 of them with active students right now. We have Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, KA Psi or Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Theta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. So with these groups, our students are making opportunities to connect with each other around the history of being African American, but also finding time to give back to their community and serve. Each of these organizations has a national or international service partner that they connect with, and programs that the chapters do across the country to service their community. Here at Emory University, these groups are supported by the MPHC Council, which is a group of students who take leadership in making opportunities that are for the entire community outside of these organizations, and gives opportunities for folks to learn more and get connected to the work that they're doing. When thinking about joining this council, it is very similar to the Multicultural Greek Council, where students are able to attend events hosted by the organizations to express interest in joining that organization. The council also supports this effort by hosting a week, which would be January 20th through 25th. The students are also able to talk to our office. I think it's really important that we provide opportunities to educate students on what it means to join these organizations. So if you're interested in learning more about the National Panhellenic, please scan this QR code or stop by the office and we'd be happy to have a conversation with you. Moving on to our Interfraternity Council. This is a group of 11 men's fraternities here at Emory University, many of them housed on campus on Eagle Row here at Emory University. We have Alpha Epsilon Pi, Alpha Tau Omega, Beta Theta Pi, Delta Tau Delta, Kappa Alpha Order, Kappa Sigma, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, Sigma Alpha Mu, Sigma Chi, Sigma Phi Epsilon, and Zeta Beta Tau. Each of these organizations takes time out of their year and their semester to both build brotherhood, but also give back to their communities. Our students are engaged in intramural sports, giving back to their communities through service opportunities like our South Fork Conservatory here at Atlanta, but they also take time to lead in that way, or lead the community as well, excuse me. They lead the community by being officers on our Interfraternity Council, and those students take time to think about what it is that they want to do this year. Do they want to serve the community here on the campus? Do they want to connect with the city? And they work to create programs and opportunities for students to get connected and give back to the community. Thinking about joining the IFC, we do host recruitment each semester, but this community is a deferred community, so students have to have 12 credits to join any of our organizations. That's important for IFC because your first year student will not be able to join into their spring semester. So during our spring semester, which is usually our larger recruitment, folks are able to come to events that are hosted through our recruitment week to meet our organizations, to have conversations about what it means to be in that organization, and to hopefully join our community by receiving a bid to one of our 11 fraternities. Those students that then do that do join our community celebrate by hosting or participating in our Run the Row, which is a unique opportunity for our men's fraternities to take time to celebrate that they're joining our community by starting at the beginning of our Eagle Row and running to their chapter facility or to a designated location to celebrate being a part of this new organization. If your student is interested in learning more about this organization or about these organizations, they can scan this QR code, which will take them directly to our registration page. And they can also come to our events, which will be hosted February 2nd through the 8th.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Howell, and I'm a senior coordinator in the Office of Sorority and Fraternity Life. I oversee our buildings along Eagle Row and supervise our 6 graduate house directors. We know that sorority and fraternity houses play a significant role in adding to the sense of belonging and that sisterhood and brotherhood within the chapter. And so by providing our chapters, some of our chapters with an opportunity to live together in community, we know that our students are able to interact with one another daily, to have a space to host programs and different community events. On Emory's campus, we have 19 chapter facilities, and I am very proud to say that we actually have all 4 council representation on Eagle Row. So our EPC, IFC, MPHC, and MGC chapters have an opportunity to live along Eagle Row. All of our facilities are university owned. Some campuses are private owned by chapters. However, on Emory's campus, all of our facilities are owned by Emory, and they are staffed with graduate house directors. Our Graduate House Director program is a new program that launched this past year, and it is where Emory graduate students have an opportunity to live in community with our fraternity and sorority members. They are responsible for crisis management, supporting residents. They are serving on call all throughout the night and 24 hours on the weekends. They are making sure that our facilities are, doing well and being able to support residents in filing work orders on their behalf, and then also just promoting that overall community and sense of belonging. There is a cost associated with living on campus. All billing is through the university, and rates are the same for equivalent housing accommodations on campus. Rates are by semester, and you can find all of that information on the housing website. With living on campus, all utilities, including water, gas, electricity, Wi-Fi, cable TV, and laundry, are included in the housing rates. I also think it's important to note that our facilities are filled with both affiliated and non-affiliated students. So your student, if choosing to live on Eagle Row, could have an opportunity to get to know more people than just those in their chapter. Um, here at Emory, students are expected to live on campus for their first 2 years. So we oftentimes see people choosing to live in their chapter facility that second year, but we also see students choosing to live in our facilities in their third and fourth year as well. And so it's an opportunity if your student is looking for community to be able to live with one another. I know from my experience, living with my chapter was one of my favorite parts of my college experience. And so I can speak to the vital role that it can play with living around people that have similar interests of you. If your student has questions, they can reach out to us. You can find my email on our website. They can ask a chapter member. Just let us know if you have any questions about the Eagle Row living experience.
And that concludes the presentation that we have prepared for you today. And now we will open it up for questions.
Ooh, let me stop sharing my screen so that we can just sit here and chat with each other. My bad. That was incredible. Thank y'all so much. That was a very comprehensive presentation. I have a couple of questions for y'all, and a couple that I came up with during the presentation as well. So it was kind of mentioned in some of the councils, but who can participate in recruitment? Do you need to be a first-year student to participate in recruitment?
Yeah, thank you for that question. We're a little unique because we have deferred recruitment and membership intake. And what that means is that students in their first semester, so first year students in their first semester, cannot join the community. They have to wait into their second semester. That is done intentionally. We believe that students need time to get acclimated to the university, to get involved and other things across campus, to have a focus on their academic achievement. And ultimately, those are the things that's going to make you a great candidate for our sororities and fraternities. And so we want those students to be focused on those things, and then we welcome them after that first semester to join any of our councils if they are either hosting recruitment or doing membership intake.
Thank you. So our next question, and this is a very common question that I think a lot of families will ask. What happens if my student goes through the recruitment process and does not receive a bid?
I'm happy to get us on that one. So if your student expresses interest in our organizations and does not receive a bid, there's a couple opportunities that are available for them. One, each of our organizations that participate in a formal recruitment process have the opportunity to bring students in through a process called continuous open bidding, which is from the official close of the recruitment week through maybe I'd say about 3 to 4 weeks in the semester. And that gives your student an opportunity to continue to express interest, to attend events, and maybe even get a chance to join the organization. Should they not get it during that semester, which they initially expressed interest, we encourage students to try again. Maybe they didn't get a chance to connect with the right group of people. Maybe they didn't get a chance to attend an event that really connected with them. So they do have the opportunity to join the recruitment process again in the following semester as they pursue membership in our community.
Thank you. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so my student went through the recruitment process. They received a bid. They are joining an organization. Woohoo! What does the first semester after that look like?
I could jump in and talk about that. I think that's going to look a little bit different depending on which chapter they join and then which council they're a part of as well. We know that all of our students participate in a new member experience that is actually planned in collaboration with their council advisor, so as well as their national organization. So they are working with their national organization to come up with a plan, presenting that to our office and saying, here's the things that we're going to do. More than likely, they're going to learn chapter history, chapter values, what it means to be in the organization. They're also going to get to participate in various rituals for the chapter, like, pinning ceremonies, initiation ceremonies. getting an opportunity to get to know various people. And so a lot of it is just learning about the organization and what it means to be a member. And then once initiated, being able to execute all the things that they learned within their membership.
Incredible. And so we talked a lot about the benefits of joining an organization while the student is in college, but what about the benefits post-grad? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I can speak to that. So, of course, students while on campus will have the opportunity to connect with other students who may be in the same organizations as them or in the same council or outside of their council. But that does not have to stop once they graduate. Students have the opportunity to kind of make the most of their experience even after graduation. And so, for some of our councils, that looks like joining an alumni chapter and continuing to do the work there. For other organizations, that just looks like remaining connected to the people that you've met, and then also creating new connections with alumni who you may not have met during your time in undergrad, but you all have a shared experience. And so for students, it is imperative to them to not only have a great time while they're on campus and to do all the things there, but to understand that they are connected to their organizations for life and they have the opportunity to decide what that looks like upon graduation.
Thank you. And so we talked about the four councils that are offered. And for many students, they may fall into a category that maybe they want to join an organization that is in multiple councils or something like that. And so, what is some advice that you would give to students that are looking to join an organization, maybe looking to join different councils? Can they participate in multiple recruitments? Can they tour around? What are their options for that?
I would say the best option is to research, research, research. I think operating on deferred recruitment really helps students because it gives them the opportunity to not only like look at organizations' websites, but actually see our chapters in action, right? To see if your values align with what those organizations are doing on campus. And I would say spend that semester looking at them on social media to see how they're active on the Emory community campus, also to see how they're giving back to the community and really analyzing if those values belong or align with the values that they hold. I also think it's important to focus on what Essence said. This is a lifelong experience. We like to say that, and I think all of us are affiliated on this call, but we didn't stop doing the work once we graduated. And so it's important when students are making their decision, they're thinking about it not only for their like Emory experience, but also for after that, and really to see how it adds value to their networking and helping them achieve their professional goals. And so research is very important. We placed emphasis on the diversity that is here in our Emory community. And so students can think that, growing up, they wanted to be a part of one thing, and that can totally change when they get here and they see these chapters in action. So it's important to watch, to follow them on social media, to really attend their events if they're open to those students, just to see what they're doing on campus.
Thank you so much. I have one more question. Um, so from all of this that we've given to families, what is one thing that you want families to take away from this session to go tell their student?
I can start us off on that one. I think the thing that I would have a parent tell their student is that Emory offers so many opportunities to get connected. And I believe that the sorority and fraternity community is one where you can take a little bit of everything that's good about college and bring it under one house or under one organization and do that with the people that you've connected with the most.
I don't even know if anything needs to be added to that. That was great. Join us, at least give us a look. We work every day to make sure that this experience is really enhancing the student experience. And so if you have any questions about how it's going to add value to the overall student experience, just don't let those questions linger. You can give us a call, you can reach out to us, we can show you what that looks like in action, and just believe that the students that we have in our community, they're just not being. Yes, social is a part of that, but they're also actively really engaged in research across campus. They're doing great internships. They're in leadership positions in other organizations across campus and leading our university in terms of those leadership roles. And so these are really doers of our community, and it can really add value to the overall student experience. And so all of our councils would love to welcome your student. And I think a part of that being welcome to the community is also welcoming you to the community. And so we work hand in hand with parents just to answer any questions that they have or help them understand the overall value.
Thank you, Nicole, Essence, Hannah, and Patrick. This was an incredible presentation. We are going to go ahead and wrap up now. Where is it? There it is. All right, so thank you again to our presenters and thank you to our audience for tuning in. We hope this was a session full of information and context to help you help your student through sorority and fraternity life at Emory. Coming up next, we have one remaining live session in our fall webinar series, so join us on December 6th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the directors of our Education Abroad programs with the College of Arts and Sciences and the Goizueta Business School explore your students' options for studying abroad. Applications for study abroad programs open on December 15th, so this is a great time to gather information before applying. Again, all of this information and more will be available at family.emory.edu. And if you have any questions from today, you can always email me at family@emory.edu. I am happy to forward y'all along to the Sorority and Fraternity Life team. Thank you again and enjoy your day.